Hello everyone and welcome. This video is a compilation of all my Homecoming episodes put into one long extended play. Now subscribers to my channel probably have seen some of these episodes at some point, but I wanted to put them together so yeah, you just get a feel for the game in one big hit. Now I do realise this video is going to be about 4 hours long, so yeah, feel free to jump around, pause it when you have to, and come back later. But yeah, it's a bit easier to watch, say, than having all individual episodes or navigating through a playlist. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this one, and I'm going to hand over to Past Lauren for episode 1. Bye for now. Hello everyone. So today we've got a bit of a special game that I'm playing. So it is called Homecoming, and I've kindly received the arc from this from Possible World Games. So yeah, this game was given to me for free, and I'm making a video about it on my channel, so I felt I had to disclose that. So yeah, I mean, as it's an arc, could one argue this is a world premiere of this game being played? Who knows? But I'll chuck the link to the Kickstarter in my description. Also, another thing to note, because it's an arc, I am basically working from a copy document, or I suppose a wireframe. So it will look a lot nicer when it's done. It won't look like this. This is pretty much the basic text document. I will put some artwork up on here that will give you an idea of what the spreads will look like, the front cover, and the cards. Because what makes this game quite cool is that you can use tarot cards, first of all, which is what I'm going to use today. But there's also a deck of cards that comes with the game, and that's basically how you play it. You draw cards. So what I'm going to do first of all is, because this game requires you to develop a character and a bit of backstory, I'm going to go through that, and then I'll chat through like how the game is played, my usual spiel about what to do, and yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping out the way. And yeah, let's get started. Let me take you through my character. So just move this mic again. If we first of all take the little copy doc. Yeah, so this is kind of like a brief, I suppose, intro, setting the scene to the game. So it begins with like a, I suppose, I won't say an overview, but yeah, a little bit of a flavour for what we're getting into. So your father's family is known for being craftsmen, masters of their trade. Your mother's family is known for disappearing. It's because of this that when your father calls after years of not speaking, you already know what he's going to tell you. Mum's missing. I won't say mom. It sounds weird in my accent. Mother has gone missing. Homecoming is a game of exploration and discovery, both physical and emotional. Desperate to find both your estranged mother and answers to a lifetime of questions, you arrive at the doorstep of the one place you swore you would never go, Braddock House, which is the family home. Braddock House, a large mansion on the northeast coast that has been the home of your mother's family since they first settled here over 200 years ago, where the plans for Braddock Bank and Trust were first drawn, where the family fortune was built, and where generations of Braddocks have lived and generations of Braddock women have disappeared. Though you have never been here before, you have heard stories from your mother your whole life, tales of twisting staircases that change direction halfway, doors without rooms behind them, and always to nowhere. That place could put the Winchester mansion to shame, she would brag. Now, as you stand at its door, you can't help but hope she was exaggerating. Before you play, character creation. The path your life has taken up until your arrival on the steps of Braddock House has been a winding one, filled with twists and turns that, despite your best efforts, have brought you here, your ancestral home, your birthright. You may have tried to leave your family behind, but you cannot run from who you are forever. Before beginning your exploration, it is important to establish a few background details about yourself before you enter the house. So yeah, I've done this off camera to speed things up a bit, because I kind of want to get into the game as quickly as possible. And sometimes off camera, I don't know, I think I think a little bit better. So I want to make a really nice character. So first question. You were born the eldest daughter of an eldest daughter, the first of your generation. You have not spoken to your parents in several years. What event made you cut off contact with them? So, part 1, why no contact? It was a family ritual where newly married couples, or more specifically, the person marrying into the family, had to undergo a ceremony. I was very young when it happened, and I can't remember much of it all. much of it, but all I know is that I never saw either of my cousins again. Apparently these initiations only happened when an outsider was brought into the family fold. My family did other weird stuff too. They worshipped a strange god religious entity. There were statues all over the house. I won't say the name. So points for anyone who can work out what film that is inspired by. I'll give you a couple of seconds. It's Ready or Not. So that film is about a lady that marries into a family, and their sort of line of business is creating games. And I might be giving away the end in it, but I think it's pretty obvious from the beginning. And basically, yeah, the gist of it is that they've made a deal with another entity, and they've got to fulfill something to maintain that wealth. And if they don't, well, something bad will happen. There's always a cost to these things, as we know. So next question. How long has it been since you spoke with your mother? It has been 5 years since I saw my mother. Question 3. Why did you take your father's call after years without contact with him? I don't know why I took my father's call. So I wanted to keep that open-ended because I think in her sort of state of mind, she kind of just doesn't know. In her mind, she's moved on. But at the same time, there's something that was calling her back to this house. And yeah, she doesn't know what it is. Obviously, her mum's missing and like she wants to find her. But there's more to it than that. Like I've written it in that she doesn't really like her parents. So on the one hand, you could say, well, why does she care? But on the other hand, family relationships are complex. And yeah, she wants to go home to see, to see what's what. So second bunch of questions. The Braddock name holds weight in this area and has for hundreds of years. What is your first name? My first name is Miranda. Do you still use a Braddock surname? Yes. And I've, explained why. So it's my name and part of my identity. I won't let them tarnish it for me. So yeah, she's very, I wouldn't say stubborn, but she knows who she is and she has a strong sense of self. And she's like, actually, no, it's just as my name as it is yours. It may be associated with all this weird stuff, but I've reclaimed it. It's mine. It belongs to me. How have you tried to distance yourself from your family? I've tried to distance myself from the family by moving away and cutting off all contact, though I have a strong feeling they've employed either extra security or a private investigator to keep tabs on me. I know too much and am a liability to them, which is fair enough. She comes from a very wealthy family. They have secrets to protect, as what is alluded to with these weird rituals they do and things like that. So question 3. For the past 5 generations, the eldest daughter of each generation of your mother's family has vanished without a trace. What have you been told about what happened to them? So before I begin, I kind of wanted to keep this, I wouldn't say open-ended, but I didn't want to be too specific. I sort of wanted to frame it as in she kind of doesn't know. She's just been told stuff and she doesn't know what to believe. So this is what I've written. I've been told the women in my family have endured a sickness, a malady of the mind, so to speak. Given the quirks of my family, I'm not surprised. We live in a gilded prison, and this is felt more by the women. They are often expected to be caretakers to the family rather than be independent. When I say caretakers, I mean they're obviously not, they've got servants and things like that, but they're meant to be around. They're meant to be, just taking up lady things. So think of, 1800s England or wherever else. So yeah, they're not expected to be independent. Wouldn't that be enough to drive any person mad? Some ran away, others were sent away. So I was told. There were no servants who witnessed it though, or maybe they were sworn to secrecy. So there was always this weird letter left, always the same. It was like they shared the same psychosis. So I did that later because we've got a letter coming up. So what are we on part 3? So do you believe that? So do you believe what you've been told? She's like, I don't actually know. So what do you think happened to him? I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. There is something they're not telling me. Part 4. You've always felt the pressure of being the Braddocks' eldest daughter, a role you never chose. How many siblings do you have? I have 2 siblings, 2 brothers. How do you feel about your place as their older sister, knowing the family history? I feel cursed and blessed, though they aren't as naive to what has gone on as they make out. How do they feel about you? They respect me and my wishes, but they tone down how they feel about me in front of my parents. For their own safety, they can't leave yet. So I framed it as in her brothers are a bit younger. And yeah, of course, they could run away and things like that. But obviously, to leave a house properly, a home, and be safe, you need money behind you and things like that. And they're too young at the minute to have that level of sort of resources behind them. So the last question of part 4, do you still identify as the eldest daughter of the family? Of course, it's part of my past and who I am. So again, she's kind of reclaiming it for herself. She's accepted she's part of this family, even though she has distanced herself from it. And she's kind of obviously done the work to come to terms with, you know, the hold they had on her. And she can kind of claim that place in the family for herself. So part 5, you almost didn't come to this place. Why did you? Something compelled me. Call it morbid curiosity. I felt I hadn't come to terms with some aspects of my past. And to truly move on, I had to make peace with this house. What do you want from being here? I'm not sure, and that's genuine, and I purposely left that open because I want to keep that flexible in case, you know, I get some cool prompts in the game and I'm like, oh, I wish I'd gone down this route, but I've already, you know, written this. So yeah, I want to make it easy for myself to change the direction of like the story I'm generating. Why are you risking to be here? Oh no, what are you risking to be here? I'm risking everything, my sanity. I could re-traumatize myself. So now we move on to the letter that I alluded to in the past. Literally like 2 minutes ago. Pinned to the front door is an envelope with the word bug written on it. Your mother's neat block writing. It has been a while since you thought of that nickname, and you find yourself smiling in spite of yourself as you pull the paper from the door. Oh, excuse me. I also may make a note of this because I didn't pay much attention to this in my notes, but I feel as though I need to honour this because it's kind of a breadcrumb. So I might refer to this back in the game when I'm answering prompts. Opening the envelope, you pull out a letter and unfold it. You don't need to read it to know exactly what it says. You've already read this letter. From great-great-great-grandmother Florence, from great-great-grandma Artemisia, from great-aunt Ophelia, from Granny Una, or Grammy rather, sorry. 4 generations of missing women, 1 letter. And now the same words are written in your mother's hand, with her name signed at the bottom. The same letter has been left by 4, now 5 generations of women in your family, before they disappeared, and with each letter received comes a hope that it is the last one. Using the form below, select one item from each list and place it in its notated field to put together your family letter. Once you've completed the letter, it's time to enter Braddock House. So yeah, if you could, I'll zoom in on this, but in this letter you have certain fields. There's 1 in square brackets, 2, 3, and 4, and a closing. So yeah, the greeting I've done overly formal, but upon looking at it, I kind of actually want no greeting. Yeah, it makes more sense what I plan. We're going to change that to no greeting. No greeting. So, my time has come. What's that say? Oh, yeah, my time has come to continue the contract made, and so I can choose from ensure the future success of the Braddock name, make a repayment of our debt, keep our family safe, extend the covenant for another generation. So I don't want to give too much away. So I'm going to write it as, so no greeting, this is goodbye. My time has come to continue the contract made and ensure the future success of the Braddock name. So in field 2, I've chosen, do not look for me, for I cannot be found. Remember me for what I did for our family. And next, I think the text I keep is, I regret that I feel, and I chose so much trepidation, but this is what is required. Be well, thrive, goodbye. So I kind of didn't want it to be too loving or endearing, because we have some prompts here, I love you, and do this out of that love. Like for me, I want this family to be quite sinister, let's say. They are all about keeping up appearances and maintaining the legacy rather than the well-being of the family. You know, it's almost like they could swap out their kids for anyone. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. We, you know, there'll always be someone else to continue, you know, our generational wealth or, you know, our business ideas. So yeah, for me, I want to get that across in the way I framed this letter. I didn't want it to have any sort of sentimental aspects. I want to be more cruel in that way, like, yeah, kind of paint a picture of why this person left. All right, let's turn the page. Yes, that's it. So, playing the game. So this is the instruction bit of my little video. So, Homecoming is a card-based exploration game. You can play alone or with friends. All you need to play is Homecoming's deck of cards. We don't have those yet. We're using a tarot deck. Or a standard tarot deck. Note-taking materials for cowardice and curiosity trackers, which I've made here. And if you'd like to keep a record of your exploration, a journal and a pen, of course. Type document, audio recording, that's quite good, or a combination of all three. Oh, that is interesting. I must have glossed over that before. I mean, yeah, this would be quite a cool audio recording, like a creepy podcast or something. Whether played solo or with a group, Homecoming focuses on the story of a single character, control of whom will be shared by all players. Obviously, in my case, I'm playing solo, so I just get to control everything. Regardless of how many there are. Take turns resolving cards, and while discussion is encouraged, always let the active player make any final decision. Good, I like that. To begin, separate Homecoming deck into 3 face-down piles. I'm not sure if you can see this on the camera above my table, but I have done this. I made little notes to indicate to me what deck is which. So, room cards in one pile. They're also known as keyholes. And in this deck, that is your major arcana. So what I call, like, I don't know, the character tarot cards. So that's the right term. So the full, well, I shouldn't really look at these, but yeah, like Fool, Justice, Lovers. So yeah, that's your major arcana. And then we have the Revelation cards, which consist of quills, which are the equivalent to cups, keys, which are equivalent to pentacles, and mirrors, which are equivalent to swords. So yeah, this is this deck. So it's a combination of all 3. There's my little note there. And finally, we have the React deck, which is the skulls. And this is basically all the wands in the tarot deck pulled out and put into here. And just I made a little sign, little skull and crossbones, wands, React, skulls. So I know when I look up in a table what skulls corresponds to, because I had a bit of trouble with my Buffy deck. That even though it's very beautiful, because I don't do tarot enough to remember specifically what things are. So I think like stakes was wands and things like that. And I kept getting confused with swords. So yeah, I've tried to make it easier for myself this time. Once separated, be sure to shuffle each pile of cards to randomize the order prompts and how the suits are encountered. So yeah, I've just done that. Cowardice and curiosity. As you traverse the house, 2 sides of you are warring. The side that wants to run away and never return, and the side that is desperate for answers and the need to keep exploring. So I didn't realise that I've done this, but I think I've made that sort of duality quite salient in my character already. Like, she's quite open-minded. She's kind of, I suppose, forgiven her family, which would make her, I suppose, more curious. But at the same time, she knows they're not good people, which could make her want to run away. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see how this will go. As you enter Braddock House, both of these tracks start at 0. See, as you can see here, 0, 0, that's been circled. As your journey through the manor goes on, you will be prompted to advance the tracks forward. When one of these tracks has advanced to the end game is triggered and the game is over. So yeah, once I hit 6 on either of cowardice or curiosity, it's over. The game's over. And I think there are prompts at the end that tell you what you should do after that. Yeah, that is cool. Cool, so it's either or. Originally, I thought it was just cowardice when it got to 6, but no, it is both, because that does make sense. Cool. Right, now we're getting to the point where we're about to start playing. So, exploring Braddock House. Each turn begins with entering a new room of the house. Flip the room card over in the play space in front of you. This is a room where the events of this turn will take place. Read the room description that corresponds with that card to learn more about the space you find yourself in and answer the questions for the room. When you have done that, flip a card from the Revelation deck. So this is our cups, pentacles and swords, or quills, keys and mirrors. This card reveals what else you have learned from this room as you search for it through signs of your mother. Read the corresponding prompt and answer the questions that follow. So if you drew a mirror, which is, I think, swords, the next round of play begins as you move to the next room. Flip a new room card and place it in the player in front of you, adjacent to the card played in the previous round, and repeat steps above. if you drew a quill or key, each card has a number 1, 2, or 3. So yeah, this is if you are using the homecoming cards, and I think I have some artwork for those potentially I can show on screen. But I'm using tarot. So what I'm going to do is, if I draw something like, is it like page, knights, kings, if I can remember what the cards contain, I'm going to just add like a number onto those. Because obviously if you have like 3 of cups or something, that's quite easy. There's a 3. But yeah, if I pull a card which doesn't have that, yeah, I'm going to do sort of my own numbering system. That will be clear once you see the table. After the room and revelation cards have been resolved, add the numbers on both cards. If the total number is odd, you leave the room without issue and begin a new round of play. Flip a new room card and place it in the area in front of you in a space adjacent to the room you were in and repeat the steps above. If the total number is even, the house is reacting to your presence. Now, this is the interesting bit. Flip a card from the reaction deck. So this is our little wands deck with our skulls. And where am I again? Oh, here we go. Flip a card from the reaction deck onto the room as something supernatural occurs. Read the prompt that corresponds with the card drawn and resolve the prompt. Tick in either your cowardice or curiosity track accordingly. So yeah, we could be frightened, let's say, I don't know, for example, if we see a ghost or some other spiritual entity, or something may make us curious if it's like a nice encounter. During the end game, when prompted, the player will draw 2 cards at random and add the corner numbers together. So with tarot cards, we're just going to go by the numbers on the, is it suits? I don't know, but you know what I mean, the pentacles, cups and that. And resolve the actions based on whether the total is odd or even. So, okay, when we're endgame, which I think is, yes, okay, we're only going to worry about that when there's an actual endgame, so when we've hit 6 on any of our trackers. Okay, so how I believe we start this is, so the room cards, or keyholes as they're also known, is our major arcana deck. So I'm going to pull a card from the major deck and see what we get. Oh, the Hierophant. So here is our little table for the major arcana. So I'm just going to read a bit out. The keyholes represent the different rooms of Braddock House. At the start of each turn, flip a card from the keyhole pile on the play area in a position adjacent to the previous room card played. On the first turn, you may play the card wherever you like within the play area. Now, this whole, with the play area, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because I'm in like a little tight space. So I might have to, again, like I normally do, adapt the rules a little bit. I'm not sure how important it is. For me, I'm focusing on developing the narrative and getting that down in my journal. But obviously I'll see again, I'll use my judgment as I go on to see if actually how the arrangement of the cards on the table, you know, how important that is. So, so on the first turn, you may play the card wherever you like within the play area. When you reveal the card, consult the chart below and read the room description associated with the card. Answer any additional questions and recording your answers in your journal. So we've got the Hierophant. So this is a full. And, oh, Hierophant. The door is far more ornate than any other you've seen yet. Dark wood and scrolling carvings decorate it, complete with a large brass knob. Door swings open easily, revealing what appears to be a grand study. Bookshelves line every wall, stretching from floor to ceiling, and a massive oak desk sits in front of an exquisite stained glass window. Upon closer inspection, it appears that the bookshelves are all filled with copies of the same book, one you are very familiar with. What book fills the shelves? What image is depicted in the stained glass window? Oh, this could be quite a good one. I'm already thinking it's like some weird cult stuff. The book is going to be like some, like, I don't know, like, what's the word, like creepy, what's the word, religious text. And the image depicted in a stained glass window. I mean, you know, we're going to go for maybe like a demon of sorts, perhaps. So yeah, I'm going to get to that in a bit. So I'm just going to read what I do next. So, right, I've got my room, which is governed by the Hierophant. We're in like a library of sorts or a study. So once you've revelation. So after I've answered this, I then go to the revelation deck, which is my cups, swords and pentacles. And yeah, then I answer these prompts here. So let's begin with the Hierophant. So I'm going to call it room 1, just in case my, oh, and that's my little sign on the floor, just in case I can't do the layout of the cards because I don't have a lot of room. So we're going to go for room 1. the Hierophant. So I'm going to make a few notes. So it's a grand study with floor to ceiling bookcases. I mean, to be fair, it sounds like a lovely room. Very antique, old money. Yeah, there's a lot of history in this room. Okay, what books fill this shelves? Right, I think I'm ready to answer this now. The books that fill these shelves are spiritual texts, if one can call them that. My grandmother said they contain ancient magic and evil magic. That has both blessed and cursed us. Do you know what? I'm going to say she was restricted from going in here, like a restrictive library. So I was never allowed in this room as a child. Strictly adults only. Even our, I suppose, what's a nicer word, help. And say contracted cleaners weren't allowed in. Because it's the first time I've been in the room, I mean, she could have like peeked through the keyhole a few times, but she was like, and let's just say this room is quite high up. So I've seen the stained glass. No, actually, no, she hasn't. I'm going to say it's a separate internal room where the stained glass window is. Kind of reminds me of, so in a lot of old English homes, I mean, very wealthy English homes, more estates, they used to have like priest rooms hidden behind like bookcases or hidden behind like moulding in the wall. So when we were changing over from Catholicism to Protestantism, obviously Catholicism was banned, punishable by death. People used to hide priests, their own personal priests, in these rooms so they weren't detected. So I'm thinking this stained glass window is connected to another room. Maybe that's not necessarily a priest's room, but like, you know, maybe another more private room you go to if you want to take one of these books away and start doing some magical stuff. Junk say it looks like there is an altar in there. A shadow or outline of an altar. The figure or image in the stained glass window is of a gargoyle or gargoyle-like creature. It's sitting in a forest, I say, like a lush forest, full of abundance. Hint, hint. Because it grants you wealth. What does that represent? It represents money. Okay, cool. So it's this weird, creepy, like, maybe like evil magic text, borderline cult literature. yeah, that she can't sort of, you know, she was never allowed to go near it as a child. It's too dangerous. Only, you know, specific adults can enter that room. Perhaps maybe her mother and father. Yeah, maybe her mother and father only had access. And, you know, her grandmother. You know, even sort of, I won't say lesser family members, that sounds horrible, but let's just say she had aunts, uncles, and cousins. They weren't allowed in there. It was kind of like the head of the family. You know what I mean? The usual stuff they have in films and books with hierarchies and families. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So we've got an explanation of our library. So next is I need to flip a card from a revelation deck. So I've lost my little sign, but luckily I remember what's what. So let's get a card. Oh, the Three of Swords. So that's mirrors. So they're moments of pause. So the mirrors or swords, if we're using tarot cards. So the mirrors represent moments of pause to reflect on your experiences. Let's just say, okay, so this is room one. I'm going to list the revelation card I pull. So revelation equals mirror, or in my case, because I'm using tarot, swords. So yeah, it's a time for reflection, which is actually quite good because I think I got a bit of that. As I was explaining in the room, I was just doing it naturally. Right, so we now need to write something for the Three of Swords. So we know that she's in a library with these like cultist books lining the bookcases. And so we need to, so that's a 3. So you are taking a moment to pause and reflect on what you have discovered during your exploration of the house. Think about what you've seen and learned since the last time you paused for reflection and answer the question below. What answers are you still searching for? What would it mean to find them? Okay, so I think, yeah, just generically answers about her past. You know, what are these rituals actually for? And why are they worth so much destruction? You know, her life is pretty much, well, her relationship with her family is destroyed. And yeah, and I think for her, what would it mean to find it? I think peace. She wants peace. That's like her motivator, is to be at peace, be it, again, answers for why her mum disappeared, or, yeah, why her family are the way they are. It's her own personal history. She wants to learn more about that. And I think, yeah, we are a step closer because she's seen, I suppose in a way the correct one is occultist books. And, yeah, she's got an idea that there may be more substance to this ritual than she initially thought. She just thought maybe her family was a bit quirky, you know, strayed a little bit outside the norm, let's say. And but now she's thinking, oh, there could be something in this. You know, appears to be a summoning room, let's say. And yeah, and when she looks at the books, even though they all look the same, they are expanded volumes of one book. So there's like hundreds and hundreds of volumes. And yeah, we don't know what this means or how sinister this is, although it's probably pretty sinister already. Right, let's put that there. So if you drew a mirror, the next round of play begins as you move into the next room in the house. Oh, interesting. Okay. Flip a new room card and place it above the area in front of you, adjacent to the card played in the previous round. So what do I do with the mirror card? The next round of play begins, you move to the next room in the house. Flip a new room card and place it in the area in front of you, adjacent to the card played in the previous round. Okay, right, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going, just so I can keep everything together in case I'm doing this wrong, I'm going to put this mirror card underneath this. So if I ever have to refer to them, I know what they were associated with, even though I've written it down here. So, but we're going to move this down. Actually, I quite like how I get now why the cards, it's almost like you're going up a level in the house, I suppose. Okay, right, so we're going to have to draw a new house, yeah, because next round of play begins. So new room. Oh, we have the Emperor. Yeah, I'm going to totally run out of space here. What I might do, I'm going to put him on my little board in front of me. So we have room 2, the Emperor. So in that one, I neither got any cowardice or curiosity. So I believe the mirror card's almost like a trigger for you to go into the next room. So Emperor, let's look up Emperor. Right. Magician, High Priestess, Emperor. Here we go. A wooden archway in front of you opens to a cosy den. A large stone fireplace with a massive portrait hanging over it stands as a focal point in the room, with a worn leather chair standing in front of it. A fire crackles in the hearth. I think that's how you pronounce it. Shedding light around the otherwise dark room, flickering over the spines of books on bookshelves and reflecting the glass eyes of stuff. Oh, trophy heads that line the walls. Who is in the portrait over the fireplace? What about this room feels out of place? Okay, so we're going to like a snug room. So maybe almost like a little smoking room. So super cozy. So imagine let's just set this in winter, dark nights are drawing in. We've got a fireplace that's crackling, heating up the room. Worn leather chairs, it's well used. It's been inhabited, quite often. Fire crackles, shedding light. Okay, so the light is dancing around the room. There's lots of shadows everywhere. Who is the portrait of that hangs above the fireplace? The portrait is of the creepy little gargoyle. And it's standing behind a figure, an old man. His portrait is old. It's dated. Let's just say the portrait is 100 years old. Yeah, 3 generations of this, that's fine. Do you know what? No, make it 200. Give ourselves a bit of flexibility. No, actually, what did it say here? I remember, no, it specifically gave... okay, I was right, 200 years ago. That fits in well. I mean, we could have had some little, add-on story there to make it why it was 100. They may have only got rich 100 years in, or super rich. But no, we're relating it back to the story. 200 years old. Yeah, the portrait's creepy gargoyle. So yeah, his hand, this like gargoyle's I suppose clawed hand. The gargoyle's hand, and it's very grotesque, is on the shoulder of the older gentleman, let's say. Who, I mean, he's looking stern, not frightened, which is what's alarming about this picture. You'd think he'd be a bit creeped out, but he's not. He looks kind of smug. So yeah, that catches my eye because you don't see many portraits like that. What is it about this room that feels out of place? Oh, these stuffed trophy heads. They feel like they're following me around the room. Trophy heads. So let's just say there's one of a stag on the wall. And as I first walked in, or as Miranda's first walked in, she could have sworn the head was facing the other way. So she thinks the animal heads have moved. But she's like, well, I'm a bit nervous about being here. Maybe it's all in my imagination. But shrugs it off. She, the house is really creepy. She, it's just her imagination playing tricks. Okay, right. So I believe we now draw a card from the Revelation deck. So let's see what we get. Queen of Cups. Now this is interesting because you kind of see maybe how my numbering comes into play here. So just in case I have to add anything up, potentially I've kind of given the tarot cards that aren't necessarily numbered numbers. So ace is at top, so I've called it 1. So the ace of cups is 1, 2 of cups is 2. But as I've gone on, I've also given numbers to, say, the page of cups, queen of cups, knight of cups. So yeah, the queen, according to this, is 13. So my underline room 2, draw a box around it. So we've got so our revelation is the Queen of Cups. I'm going to put in brackets 13 in case I have to add anything up. Because remember the cards underneath, if we draw a quill or a key at any point, I just want to keep in mind, you know, that I'm ahead of my numbering. Wow, the Queen prompt, the Queen of Cups prompt is very long. What do the cups represent? So it's a quill. Pieces of family history being learned. So that fits them well with the little portrait we've just seen above the fireplace. Okay, cool. So this prompt's going to be a theme around family history. So, Queen of Cups. The journal you hold is small. Let me just check, actually, because I always make mistakes in games. It is definitely cups that I'm on. Yes, okay, cool. Queen. The journal you hold is small, easily able to fit into a dress pocket or small handbag, and is marked the initials CRB on the cover. Open in the book, you find several diary entries from your great-grandmother, Cassia. Okay, Cassia. I have her journal, maybe. Gigi for great-grandmother. The entries talk about a whirlwind romance with a young man from the nearby town. Oh, this could be interesting given my backstory about, you know, when anyone new marries into the family and have to undergo initiation. Okay, before I get carried away, let's continue. And are filled with dreams of wedding planning and beginning a life with him. Suddenly, the tone of the entries shift. You read about Michael's sudden departure from the village, leaving Cassie alone with no explanation. Tucked into the pages of the journal is a piece of yellowed paper. When you pull it out, you find a letter from Michael. Dear Cassia, I received Alaric's letter. Why it came from them and not from you, I do not know. Regardless, my response will be made to you with the knowledge that they will see it as they seemingly see everything that happens in your family. No. I will not be taking your name when we marry. My family has been in this area for as long as yours, and the Montclair name may not hold as much weight as Braddock does, but I will not relinquish it, no matter how much I love you. I've dreamed of our future as Mr. and Mrs. Montclair since the moment I met you, and now I'm having those dreams torn asunder. I know how deeply you care for your family, but do you not also care deeply for me? Will you not give us a chance to be a family? Please let Alaric know that despite their best intentions, I will not be accepting any further communication on the matter, unless it comes directly from you. Until then, I remain yours, Michael. What reason have you heard why those married into the family take the Braddock name? Where have you heard Alaric mentioned before? I don't think I've heard Alaric mentioned yet, but when I had a little read in this book, he does come up in a few other prompts. So I've never heard of him. But upon that, he sounds like maybe like a family solicitor. I don't think he is actually part. I mean, he could be part of the family, but I think when you're this wealthy, you have like a team that handles your correspondence. So, yeah, what reason have you heard why those married into the family take the Braddock name? Well, they take the Braddock name because we're the Braddocks. The Braddock name is taken to maintain legacy and is actually part of like of an agreement. So let's just say in terms of inheritance and things like that, one has to, as part of the terms of the deal, has to take the Braddock name regardless of, you know, what gender one is in a traditional sense. Obviously, the lady takes the man's name. But in this, they're like, nope, even the guy has to take the Braddock's name. If you're married into the Braddock family, you're taking the Braddock name. Okay. Okay, so Cassia, I mean, the prompt doesn't suggest she's heartbroken, but I can extrapolate on that. I mean, I think this is deliberately left open so you can basically conjure your own sort of emotional response for her. She could be absolutely livid he's left her. You know, she may be like, how could he? You know, I am Cassie of the Braddock family. You know, why would he? How dare he? Or she could be heartbroken. You know, maybe she's a bit like our protagonist Miranda, that she kind of hates being in this family and the level of control they have over her life. And, you know, this is her one chance to maybe, I wouldn't say strike out on her own, but make a decision for herself. And that's been cruelly taken away from her. So, so I pretty much answered the first one because, yeah, it's part of the agreement, and no marriage can take place. And you know, if you do, you have to, like, you know, run away, you know. And no one knows what happens to these people that run away, you know, that refuse to actually marry. You know, they both disappear. So I think it's something more sinister due to the cult magic that surrounds this family. Took place. Also, potentially dangerous if the couple try to run away. I've never heard his name before. I can only guess family solicitor from a long time ago. But is he still alive now? Okay, cool. Well, I'll make a note of that because I've seen him come before. So Alaric. The minute we think is a family solicitor. Okay, so far we've been into the creepy library. We found a bunch of like creepy magical books. We've seen potentially like a demon summoning room with an altar. We've made our way through that. We're now in a like snug room. There's a fireplace that's on, which is a little bit disconcerting because it implies maybe someone left that room quite recently. There's a creepy portrait above the fireplace of like a demon with his hand on the shoulder of an old man who is looking quite smug. And yeah, we found a journal that is from Miranda's, I think, great-grandmother, who talks about a lost love. And we get an insight into, you know, what it means to be part of the Braddock family and marry into it. And his name has come up, Alaric, who has kind of negotiated the terms of this marriage and pretty much, what's the word? Destroyed it. Yes, so that's good. Kind of, yeah, I would not like to be part of the Braddock family. So let's go back to where we are now. So we haven't had any cowardice or curiosity points yet. So let's go back to this page. So we're going to draw again. So I'm going to put this, so because I haven't got room, again, I'm just going to put this kind of in front of the Hierophant. So we kind of know, you know, that it's the one after. So yeah, we are now drawing another Major Arcana card. So this one is the Magician. Now, this could be quite a cool prompt with this. I'm intrigued to see what it says, if it's like inspired by magic. So let's see. The Magician. Where are you? Temperance, Wheel of Fortune, Judgment. Oh no, I think I've gone too far. Fool is first. Oh, Magician, second one. Of course, that's why I missed it. So we're on to room 3, the Magician. The simple wooden door swings open to reveal a sewing room. Walls lined with mannequins of various shapes and sizes. Piles of fabric cover the floor, sewing projects in various stages of completion. A large antique-looking sewing machine sits on a table in the centre of a round room. A bolt of fabric half fed through it, a project abandoned mid-stitch, almost compelling you to take a seat at the table to sew. What about the fabric on the machine looks familiar to you? What is the only completed project to be found in the room? Ooh, this is interesting. So we've got room 3, the Magician. So it's a sewing room with a so yeah, almost like a can we name drop here? Singer sewing machine. Solid metal, bit rusty. So in contrast to the other room that had the fireplace crackling, this is very much abandoned. There, you know, there's dust, there's cobwebs in the corner. The fabric has faded a bit. The fabrics around the room, the mannequins, they all look a little bit worse for wear, uncared for. So yeah, but the fabric in the sewing machine has a gold appearance to it. I think I'm channeling a bit of Rumpelstiltskin here. Gold appearance. Very shiny, but again, it's got a coating of dust in it. So she goes up to it and blows the dust off. And yeah, it's sparkly. She has seen this. It reminds her of the robes her family wore during this initiation ceremony, she remembers. The one that kind of haunted her and kind of, you know, plagued her, gave her nightmares to the point at which she got older and was, you know, old enough to leave, she did. So yeah, she recognises the gold on the trim and on kind of like the vestments. So yeah, on the sort of, I suppose, right where's the lapels, the lapels of the vestments, a bit near, I suppose, the shoulder and the chest. So yeah, very ornate. And what else we got? What is the okay, the only completed project is a robe or a vestment. Is it right? Again, looks worse for wear. It's dusty. Maybe it was tried on. It's a little bit skewy from the mannequin. So it looks like it was put back in a hurry. So it's not sitting on the mannequin, right? So whoever left this room left it quickly. They left it in a state, and it's been abandoned for a wee while now. Okay, so draw from our Revelation deck, which contains the 3 tarot suits. I don't think that's the right word. King of Pentacles. So that was cups. It's cups and sword. Okay, so we're on Pentacles now. Yeah, King of Pentacles. Okay, that's excellent. Sorry, I thought I kept drawing the same tarot suits. But yeah, we're on Pentacles. That's good. We've got Pentacles, which is keys. So let's look up keys. So cups, pentacles. Oh, my little tabs are falling off. Pentacles, monarchs of fire. So family secrets. And we've got the king. So actually, I'll just read this out. So when you reveal a key, you have found a message from your mother revealing a family secret to you. These messages take several forms, all left for you before her disappearance. It's up to you to choose whether or not you believe them. Read the message to uncover the family secrets that have been kept for generations. For every secret uncovered, answer the following questions. Do you believe this to be true? What makes you so sure? Do you wish you hadn't learned this? But I'm just checking if there is no quill or key. So far we've done cups, which is quill. So that's good. I didn't have to do anything there. Just check out, mess this up. So that was a mirror. Mirror. Quill or key? Queen of Cups. Cups is a cool. Oh, hang on. Before I move on, I think I've got to do something. Okay. So I drew a quill. So I'm not yet. So we'll just forget I've drawn those now. I'm going to go back a step. We'll park the magician. We'll carry on with the previous room. Each card is number 1, 2, or 3 in a corner. After the room revelation card has been resolved, add the numbers on both cards. So if we go to the Queen of Cups, which is cups, is definitely quills. Okay, cool. Right, so the Queen, luckily I labelled it. The Queen was 13. So if I go back here, so queen equals 13. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky if you're not using the cards. But in this case, I'm just going to go with 13. I'm not going to add anything together. I'm just going to go with what the tarot suit says. So it's 13. If the total number is 0DD, you leave the room without an issue. They begin a new round of play. Flip a new... Oh, odd. 0DD. What am I bloody doing? Leave the room without issue and begin a new round of play. Flip a new room card. Okay, so this is good, right? So because 13 is odd, we flip a new room card. Thank goodness. So we didn't have to backtrack that much. So yeah, flip a new room card. Oh, we've already got that. So yeah, the magician. So let's go back to the magician and the room we were in. But this is all part of playing the game. I'm playing this, this is why I like to film games first time round, because it is an honest playthrough. You do make mistakes. So room 3, the magician. So to recap, it's a sewing room. It's been abandoned. There is a large, heavy singer. There's the right word, yeah. Singer. Sewing machine. It's a little bit rusty. There's this like gold fabric or gold trim in there. And the only completed project in that room is like a vestment of sorts or like a ceremonial robe. And it has this gold lining at the side. Okay, so now we're looking at the King of the Pentacles, or King of Pentacles. And the prompt reads, the photograph you're looking at is one you've seen before. It hung in the hallway of the house you grew up in. A photograph of your parents when they first began dating. Arms wrapped around each other and smiling as they sit together on a beach. Turn it over, your mother's words are waiting for you. From the moment I learned about what I had to do for this family, I swore that I wasn't going to get married. I wasn't going to have children, that I was ending this foul line. But then I met your father. From the moment I met him, I knew I was in trouble. I did everything I could to avoid him, to ignore my feelings, to convince him that I wasn't someone he could have a future with. But he wouldn't listen, and we couldn't stay apart. I knew I had to tell him what was coming, but every time I tried to speak, the words just wouldn't come out. I couldn't break his heart like that. I know you haven't been speaking with either of us, but I promise you he's been kept in the dark as you have. Don't hold what I have done against him. Ooh, that is interesting. So... here are the questions. Right, I was about to say, I'm waiting for a question there. When you reveal a key, you found a message from your mother revealing a family secret to you. Okay, so it's a photograph. These messages take several forms, all left for you before her disappearance. It's up to you to choose whether or not to believe them. Read the message to uncover the family secrets that have been kept for generations. For every secret uncovered, answer the following questions. Do you believe this to be true? What makes you so sure? Do you wish you hadn't learned this? Ooh. Do I believe this to be true? Do you know what? I'm not sure. So it seemed her mother and father were happy. But given, the library and things like that, her father was allowed in there. So she's like, to say that he didn't know that much, she doesn't believe that bit. So he definitely knew, in her opinion, what was going on. But later it could unfold that maybe he was bewitched or something like that. Every time he went into the room, he saw something different. Or her mother tricked him somehow, like magically, so he wasn't aware of what was actually in there. Maybe when he saw those books, they were just normal novels rather than this sort of occultist spiritual text. Okay, so what's the next one? What makes you so sure? Well, she's not. That's for sure. Do you wish you hadn't learned this? I say I'm kind of indifferent. It's made me think differently about my father, potentially. But generally, no, it doesn't change how I feel about them. So therefore, I do not wish I hadn't learned this. And maybe it's made her a bit angry, you know. It's like maybe her mother was always quite manipulating. And she feels actually, you know, oh, I couldn't break his heart. I couldn't do that to him. She's like, well, if you truly cared for him, you would have done. You wouldn't have brought him into this mess. So I'd say she's actually feeling a little angry. It's like, here she goes again type of thing. But we don't know. Her mum could be genuine in that. And maybe her beliefs about her mum have been kind of tarnished in some way. And we don't know. She could have been beguiled by something. So yeah, I say she feels angry, a bit annoyed. Kind of like, you know, she feels her mum is trying to make her feel sorry for her, despite everything her mum's done to her. So at the minute, I think emotions are clouding her judgment. Potentially, we don't know. This could be a whole manipulative game created by her mother, but we don't know yet. I mean, she could have genuinely, you know, fallen for her father and, you know he felt the same and didn't want to hurt him. But, oh, it's a tricky one. Right, so I'm going to put that up with the rest. So you've got the Magician and the King of Pentacles. So what I'm going to do is, so I had a little break from the last time I filmed. And what I have done is, so I can do a bit of subtraction instead of just taking the number I've assigned to the minor arcana. I've actually given numbers to the major arcana. So the Fool is 1, the Magician is 2, High Priestess is 3, and so on. Because this way I can do the subtraction the prompts call for. So if we take, so I'm not sure if it has to be done in any particular order. So quill or a key. So I drew a key, so it's pentacles. So each card's number 1, 2, or 3 in the corner. I haven't done that. After the Room and Revelation cards have been resolved, add the numbers on both cards. So the King of Pentacles is, what are you? No, not King of Pentacles, sorry, the Magician. Magician is 2. And the King of Pentacles is 14. So that makes 16. So if the number is odd, you leave the room without issue and begin a new round of play. Flip a new room card and place it in the area in front of you in a space. Okay, we've read that bit. Oh, I don't have the space. I'm just putting it on my board. And if the number is even, this is interesting. The house is reacting to your presence. Flip a card from your action deck onto the room as something supernatural occurs. Read the prompt that corresponds to the card drawn and resolve the prompt, ticking either your cowardice or curiosity tracker accordingly. Excellent. So we get to use this now. Oh, so if it won't fall down. Will you fall down? Probably. Okay, we'll put you here. Cool. Right, so let's pull from my skull deck, or the wands. So we have the 9 of wands, I believe that is. Yeah, x minus 1 is 10, so it's 9, yeah. Right, so if we go to wands, which is also skulls, supernatural events. So we want to go to the 9. Aha. Without any provocation, a large painting hanging on the wall falls to the floor. The ornate frames splinter and sending shards of wood across the floor. One by one, every piece of artwork that was mounted in the room comes clattering to the floor until nothing remains on the walls. Your attention focuses on the first painting that fell. You make your way carefully through the sea of broken wood and glass to investigate. Or move a curiosity point forward. I quite like that. I'm glad it wasn't cowardice. So we're 1 ahead for curiosity. What was revealed when the painting fell? What do all of the destroyed works of art have in common? Okay. Oh. What was revealed when the painting fell? So I'm going to do 9 of wands here. And I imagine I just discard that so I don't pull it again because that prompt is done with. So I'm going to put that card over there. 9 of wands, painting. Or painting, sorry, every piece of art. So the first painting, I say there's a key. There is a key in the first painting. And there appears to be a blood stain on it. Like it was pried from a dying person's hands or hand. So yeah, I'm going to say the key was in the painting as it fell. It sort of, the frame came off and the backing that was covering the canvas, let's say, or wood panel, revealed there was a key hidden behind it. Or do all of the destroyed works of art have in common? They're all people from her family, but from years ago. From, say, generations ago is probably more accurate. So I say, it goes back the full 200 years to when her mother's family set up the bank and trust. The decision that made them super rich. With no doubt a little help from a little demon on the side, one may say. Hello everyone, so this is part 2 of Homecoming. So we've completed 3 rooms now. So this is room number 4. And I think we last left off when we were, I don't know where we were. I know we just discovered a key in the back of a painting. Yeah, I think we were in a sewing room. There's lots of gold thread, lots of vestments. And as we were walking past, I believe some pictures fell down and a key was behind one of them. And yeah, this key was driven by the supernatural card we pulled when a painting fell off the wall. So yeah, we're up to there now. So I believe I'm about to draw another card for another room. Let's draw a major arcana. Oh, so we have the world. So let's look up what we have here. So we go to our major arcana section. I think the world is the last card, actually. Yes. So let's just make a note of that. So according to the world, the table in the centre of the dining room, so in the dining room, you walk into takes up nearly all the space, stretching from wall to wall with a dozen chairs set around it. In front of each chair is a table setting set for an elaborate multi-course meal. 7 platters and bowls sit in the centre of the table, interspersed between candelabras holding unlit candles. Delicate spider webs hang from the candelabras, fill the empty glasses and drape over the silverware, clearly indicating how long the table has been set and waiting to be used. At the head of the table, a single wine glass filled with red wine sits without any other place setting, free of dust or spider webs that cover the other settings. What about the table indicates what occasion it's been set for? What is missing from the table? Ooh, now that is creepy. A lone red glass of wine, or wine glass of red wine. Red glass of wine, don't even say that right. Right, okay, so what is this table? What's the occasion? Do you know what? It's going to be welcoming her home. That's the occasion. She has returned. And someone hasn't gone, let's just say, the full mile in tidying up the table. But who has set it? This is a mystery. What is missing from the table? I say the food. Most certainly missing. And people. Cleanliness. Yeah, so it was either prepared in a hurry or there is something more sinister at foot. Maybe, maybe it's been abandoned. They were about to, set it all up for and they had to leave in a hurry. Or maybe it was left purposely like this to unnerve her. We don't know. And the wine is at the head of the table. Okay, that's a clue. So, head of the table, the wine is for someone important. Is it for her? Or is there another, say, powerful member of the family that this is intended for? So I'm thinking it could be either her mother or father. Even if her mother is missing, we don't know. Okay, so we've got the occasion. I think it's to welcome her home, but in a really sinister and creepy way. What's missing from the table is people and food. Okay, so now we've got a pull from the Revelation deck. So let's see what we get. Oh, that is the Six of Cups. And I'll put that in behind the world. This is our fourth room. So it was definitely, yeah, Six of Cups. Right, let's look this one up. 4, 5, 6. A simple photo album with a faded pink leather cover sits on a shelf. As you pull it from its resting place, you see the name Amity embossed on gold letters. On the cover, within the pages are photos of a woman. Photos of a young child fill the first few pages with short handwritten captions. Arthur and Amity, age 2. Amity's first steps, age 2. Amity at the shoreline, age 3. All of the photos appear to have been taken in or around Braddock House. As you get to the end of the album, she is now pictured as a young adult. She is beautiful, with delicate features and a soft smile, often pictured surrounded by several other girls. The last page of the book holds a newspaper clipping, an obituary. The page is yellowed and faded, but the words are still legible thanks to the protective sheet of the album. Amity Braddock, aged 20, departed this world for the next afternoon, November the 2nd, after suffering with a years-long affliction. She is survived by her parents, Florence and Arthur Braddock, and her 3 adoring younger sisters, Artemisia, Alice and Adeline. Services will be held at Hilltop Church on Sunday. What about Amity looks almost too familiar? What detail do you notice in every photo of the album? I think Artemisia, that name rings a bell. Was that my great-great-grandmother? Great-great-grandma Artemisia. So she was my great-great-great-grandma. Okay, right, let me write this down because I'm trying to work out who this lady is in relation to me. Artemisia equals great-great-grandma. Double check that. I've got enough greats in there, not that it probably matters too much. Great, yep, 2 greats. And okay, so this is my great-great-aunt. So Amity equals my great-great-aunt, who is also the eldest daughter, just like me, or my protagonist. So, Amity, I'll just say she looks exactly like me. Amity looks the image of me, down to even the curls in her hair. The resemblance is, in fact, uncanny. Auntie Amity has never really been spoken about. Oh, and what we can imply, so if that letter was left by my great-great-grandma, this suggests this affliction, once the eldest daughter dies, it gets passed on to the second eldest daughter, or whoever is next in line. And I imagine if there wasn't one eldest daughter left in that line, it would go maybe to a cousin that was eldest daughter of like the aunt or uncle. Okay, so yeah, this Amity, I feel, has been kept a secret. But kind of like a brushed off secret. Like, so obviously my great-great-grandmother lived a long time ago. And, there's whisperings that she had a sister, and, it was just presumed, she lived the normal Braddock life and just died of a ripe old age. But I didn't know she died young. And I didn't know she was my great-great-grandma's oldest sister. So that is a bit of a revelation. As I wasn't told the full story. Okay. What detail do you notice in every photo of the album? Maybe, this is going to sound creepy, there is a glow. No, there is a shadow / glow around Amity. It's ever so subtle. But when you look closely, especially in some photographs over others where, this sort of thing may be noticed, also maybe when there are fewer people in the photograph, it stands out more because there's more surfaces that this glow or shadow can be reflected upon or cast upon. There are shadows around Amity. It's ever so subtle, but when you look closely, there is something there in every photograph. I mean, is it sort of like a Peter Pan thing where the shadow is its own entity, is a reflection of like this demon or curse that these eldest women tend to have? We don't know yet. Okay, so it's getting a bit creepy now. It's getting a bit creepy. And we need to add together the world and the Six of Cups. So I believe that is 22, because the world is the 22nd card in the major arcana. And the Six of Cups, well, it's 6. So, yes, so 22 plus 6 equals 28. So if we go back to our little prompt here. Okay, after the room revelation cards have been resolved, add the numbers of both cards, which you just done. If the number is odd, you leave the room without an issue. Oh, it's not. If the total number is even, the house is reacting to your presence. Flip a card from the reaction deck onto the room as if something supernatural has occurred. Read the prompt that corresponds to the card drawn and resolve the prompt, ticking either your cowardice or curiosity track accordingly. Oh, this is good. So let's pull from the skulls or the wands. So we have I believe that's the 8 of Wands, so VIII. Okay, so 8 of Wands. I'm going to add to our tracker as well. So let's look up the wands. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Without any warning, the ground beneath the house begins to violently shake. The walls rattle and the sound of items hung on walls and set on shelves a crash into the ground fills the air. You struggle to keep your balance as you move away from the walls and towards the doorway while the house continues to shake. You barely make it to the doorway before a section of the roof collapses in front of you, closing off your access to go down the hallway. But open a new passage deeper into the house. As you try to move towards it, a piece of debris falls from the doorway, slamming into you and knocking you to the ground. You don't know how long you are out, but when you come to, the shaking has stopped and you're lying under a pile of rubble. With the newly open passage opposite you, move either the curiosity or cowardice forward. What is lying in the rubble next to you that wasn't there before the quake? What are you afraid of finding as you explore the newly revealed area of the house? Ooh, this is good. Okay, right, have I missed anything here? So that warning. Okay, so we've been sort of sectioned off in the hallway, but a new passage has been revealed and I've been knocked out. So if we look at our tracker, do you know what? I'm going to move myself over to curiosity because we're going to continue down this newly revealed hallway. And I think if we had cowardice, we may end up either being rooted on the spot or trying to find another alternative area to go down. Okay, so what is lying in the rubble next to you that wasn't there before the quake? Okay, so what was lying next to me? What would be falling out of a ceiling? Maybe something buried? Maybe a notebook. a notebook. It's bound, leather, old. The paper is almost like cotton. It's like fabric or parchment. You know, it looks really old, and this is how it's potentially survived the test of time. And it appeared to be maybe buried or hidden in the flooring above. And as the earthquake caused the collapse, the book was freed / landed on my head. So yeah, it's more of like a journal rather than the book, not a book, you know, that's, what's the word? Say published and printed, it's a handwritten journal. I'll say, yeah, this is what knocked me out. It's a chunky book, and it fell from quite a height. What are you afraid of exploring or encountering? What are you afraid of finding as you explore the newly revealed area of the house? So what am I afraid of finding? I think something that wants to cause me harm. Because as a character, well, this character has kind of dealt with her dysfunctional family. You know, now she's back to find out what's happened to her mum. So it's not like she is scared of finding anything bad out about her family, because she's already very suspicious about what they're like and try to distance herself from it. I think, yeah, she's very afraid of more like the physical harm if something wants to, you know, end her life, let's say, or make her go missing, because she's realised now there's something very supernatural about her family in the house, even though she kind of knew already, but it's been very much confirmed now, and she's worried about, yeah, she's next, basically. Okay, so I think that's it for that, and I think I draw a new room card. So yeah, we're up to 2 on the curiosity track, and we've got to get to 6, or 6 on the cowardice. So yeah, let's draw a new room card. Oh, this is Judgment. So we've just visited, that was the dining room we were in, the creepy dining room. And now, yeah, we're in Judgment for our next room. So let's look up that. Judgment is 21. You've walked down this hallway several times before, so you think, but this time there is an archway that wasn't there before. Through the arch is an all too familiar room, the living room of your father's house, almost exactly as you remember it from the day you left. The space is dim, only lit by the glow of the television that's been left on. Oh, that's creepy. The light dances across the coffee table, littered with half-empty cups and used plates. A pizza box filled with crust sits open on the floor underneath. You blink slowly, half expecting to see your father's sleeping form on the couch when you open your eyes again. What item of your mother's has been left here? Why does this room frighten you? Okay, so let's just say when this hallway was revealed, it's almost like perhaps when I left home or that area of the house, it was kind of almost like cordoned off. And I remember it being a very young child being there, but as I've grown up, it was almost like I'd forgotten it existed. I know it sounds funny, like how would you forget a room exists? But let's just say I was like a toddler, and I just have these vague memories of going into my dad's TV room. And then as the house goes on, obviously it's a very wealthy family, undergoes extensive renovations all the time. It's pretty much boarded up, plastered over, and, you know, we just forget it exists. Now, we don't know why that's happened. I'm just trying to explain why as a child I may forget about that room. So yeah, but when we go in now, obviously we expect it to kind of be like the dining room with spider webs and abandoned, but there's a TV that's been left on. There's a half-eaten pizza box. And yeah, it looks like someone has left very, very recently. And which sort of begs the question, how did they get into that room? And if someone was in there, you know, where is the door that leads out? But what we're focused on now is what item of your mother's has been left here. So we're in my dad's, say, TV room, living room, and I have vague memories of... Oh, hang on, it says, almost exactly as you remember it the day you left. Okay, we weren't a child, we were an adult. Vague memories of it just before I left. But let's perhaps, you know, that this house might have a charm on it. You know, when you leave it, you don't remember a lot about it. What items of your mother's has been left here? I'll say it's her jacket. It's a denim jacket that she hadn't worn in years. Yeah, when I was growing up, she used to wear it all the time. And it's almost like I forgot she owned it because, yeah, when we were little children, that would be her go-to coat, let's say. But then, yeah, as we get older, obviously, you know, she got a new coat. And it was kind of forgotten about. But yeah, it almost, you know, and I pick it up and I can almost smell her perfume on it. Which brings back all these memories. Very unsettling. And I say this room frightens me because it confuses me. And, you know, my mum is missing. Why is her jacket here? So it sort of begs the question, is there something that's imitating my mum here? Have I somehow, like, walked into another dimension and gone back in time? You know? Yeah, and why hasn't this person, you know, and if it is my mum, why is she not coming out and saying hello to me? Like, why isn't she here? You know, and where is my dad? Why isn't he here? You know, he's still alive and well as far as I know. You know, when I came up to the house, I kind of, you know, it's a very big house. I wasn't expecting to see him right away, but I was expecting to bump into him. I didn't realise, you know, a lot of the wings of the house have been left in disrepair. Not a lot of staff around either, which is a bit concerning. So, yeah, we don't know what is going on. It's getting more and more confusing as we venture around. Okay, so we're in Dad's living room from the newly revealed hallway. So it says my father's house, but I think, let's just say it's a big house, and the dad, he had a TV room rather than a separate house. Kind of like a study, but more for entertainment. So we're going to pull from the Revelation deck, see what we get. Oh, that's a 7 of Swords. So there's no addition here, I don't think. You are taking a moment to pause and reflect on what you've discovered during your exploration of the house. Think about what you've seen and learned since the last time you paused for reflection and answer the questions below. How do you prepare yourself to enter the next room? How do I prepare? Let's double check. This is a sword. It sounds like it. Yep, it's a 7. Do you know, I think I've come to accept that I can't prepare. I just need to take each room as it comes. There is a part of me thinks someone in this house is deliberately trying to mess with me and scare me. to unsettle me. And I don't know why. But yeah, she feels something else is at play here, and it's kind of separate to the strange thing she's encountering. She does know her family is cursed in some way, but at the same time she thinks someone is deliberately trying to unnerve her. For whatever that reason is, maybe, you know, to make her weaker, or maybe to throw her off the truth that she is trying to discover. Okay. Do you think these preparations will help? Yes, they will. As I will go into each room with a clear mind. Okay, so that was Judgment and Seven of Swords. And if I go back, because it's odd, yeah, that was odd, wasn't it? So Judgment was, oh no, I don't add because it was Swords, it's the mirror. Yep, so we're on to a new room. We don't draw any supernatural cards this turn. Oh, this one is the Sun. What number is the Sun? So how many rooms have you done now? 1, 2, 3. We're on to our 5th. This will be our 6th. The Sun. What number are you? Oh, the Sun is 20. The sunlight is blinding as you open the door, revealing a massive greenhouse. Ah, the air is thick, humid, and oppressively hot as you step into the room. While you struggle in the heat, it's clear the plants kept in the greenhouse have been thriving. Each plant is massively overgrown, with roots straining against the confines of each pot. Several pots are overturned and smashed upon the ground, having fallen off their once well-ordered shelves. You know that time is of the essence, but you cannot bring yourself to walk away from such disarray. You begin to right the pots that have fallen and clean up shards of broken ceramic that litter the floor. How does the room change as you tend to the plants? What do you find nestled among the broken pots? Okay, so as I'm tending the plants, the greenhouse seems to age. The glass looks a little worn. And kind of like goes a bit not sort of frosty, but not from like ice forming. It's like it goes cloudy. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like wear and tear on glass. And so much so, I actually stopped tending to the pots. Tidying. Yeah, I stopped tidying because I started to panic, being like, okay, me interacting and tidying with these plants has almost sped up time. What do you find nestled among the broken pots? What do I find nestled? What would someone be hiding in broken pots? Or what else would there be? Oh, no. I find nestled among the broken pots the remains of a skeleton. Similar to a rodent, but not quite. To be honest, I've never seen anything like it. And it's worrying. It's worrying and a little terrifying. And given the strange behaviour of the greenhouse, when I'm tidying the plants, and these weird remains I'm finding in the pots, I kind of want to get out of that room. But we'll see what the next revelation card brings. So that is a 6 of Swords. Have I been shuffling these right? No, because that's 7. 6 of Swords. This is a reflection card, so we won't be putting anything supernatural. 6 of Swords. going to move these over a little bit more because I'm collecting quite a few cards now. Okay, move you here. Move you here. You. Judgment and the Sun. You are taking a moment to pause and reflect on what you've discovered during your exploration of the house. Think about what you've seen and learned since the last time you paused for reflection and answer the question below. What do you wish you had with you as you explore Braddock House? How would having it change your experience here? That's easy. I wish I had a friend with me. Who is this friend? So her name is Miranda, I think. Is that what I called her? I can't remember from the last game. I'm pretty certain I called her Miranda. Let's have a look. Yes, Miranda Braddock. So what would her friend names be? Kind of another M. Miranda and Melissa. Okay. Melissa. This is a friend she's known quite recently. Well, actually, no, she's been away from the house, I think, for about 5 years. So Melissa was one of the first people she met. Upon leaving / fleeing Braddock House. Bottom one says 6. How would having it change your experience there? I think she would be a voice of reason. And keep me grounded. I don't think I'd be as scared. If she were around. Should also help keep me safe. Should know when to leave. Yeah, I feel as though Miranda, she's a bit, and understandably, she kind of wants to get to the bottom of things. But at the same time, she's like, should I even be here? Why did I come back here? My life was pretty good. Yes, my mother has gone missing. But is it my responsibility to find out what happened to her? So yeah, that's that one. So I believe we are on to our next card. So yeah, we've had a fun time in the greenhouse. Where are we off to next? Okay, right, let's get my Major Arcana back up. Ooh, we have the Star. Let's pick a Revelation. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, right, we'll do the Star first. So the Star is 18. You pull open a large double door to reveal the ballroom. You slowly walk across the polished hardwood floors, each step echoing the vaulted ceilings, which are painted with scenes of clouds, birds, and butterflies. The grand piano in the corner almost beckons you close as you approach it. Without thinking, you run your hand across the keys, pulling your hand away as you hear how out of tune it is. More so than any room you found yourself in, this one feels truly empty, like something is missing. What makes you feel this way? What piece of music on the piano? Why does it make you think of your mother? Ooh. So this is a ballroom with a lonely piano in it. I think because of the vastness of it, it amplifies the emptiness. You can imagine, obviously, a ballroom, by its very nature, it's designed to hold a lot of people. It's designed for entertainment. It's designed for fun, where this is the opposite of that. It's sparse, and it's like there's no life here. And there hasn't been life here for a very long time, so it appears. Instead of being energizing, it takes. She feels sad being here. Yeah, there's I wouldn't even say a darkness, there's just a sense of nothingness. A sense of nothing can be changed. There, let's just say Claire de Lune is on the piano. It reminds me of my mother, because she used to play all the time. Okay, so that's the ballroom, and I think I've got to add together these cards, yeah, because it's Pentacles and Major Arcana. So, I need to, actually, no, I need to look at the prompt for the Queen of Pentacles, actually. What am I doing? Queen of Pentacles. And that is number 13. So let's just do it. So 13 plus 18 is 31. So I think that's odd, so we move on to another room. We don't pull a card. Yeah, okay, right. But the Queen. A small laminated birth certificate curling on the edges lies on the floor in front of you. As you pick it up and read it, you see a name that you don't recognise, Theo Braddock, and your confusion turns to disbelief as you read the parents' name and certificate. Peter and Thalia Braddock, your parents. You have a brother. Your hands are shaking as you peel past post-it notes off the back of the certificate. Oh, excuse me. To read what your mother has written you. I am guilty of keeping a great many things from you, but nothing weighs more on my heart than this. Theo was sent away before you were born to escape from the long shadow the Braddock name cast. He was given to a family in town who raised him as their son. If there's anything I've learned, it's that the less I parent a child, the better they do. He is doing far better without me in his life than he ever would have been being raised by me. But I shouldn't have kept him from you. You deserve to know your family. Under note is the name and address of the older brother you never knew existed. Okay, so the minute I believe Miranda has 2 younger brothers. Yes, this is interesting. So she already has 2 brothers already. So the fact that she has an older one completely changes the dynamic. And rightly so, she's very angry at her mum. Again, in her mind, she's like typical, just thinking about herself. And not me and my brothers. Okay, so Theo is the name of the older brother. And yeah, all the while, I'm just racking my brains at who this family can be. Because obviously the Braddocks got a huge house, very influential in the town or city where this manor is situated. So yeah, they threw a lot of parties, and all the while Miranda is thinking, you know, have I met him and not known who he was? And yeah, it's very overwhelming. She has to sit down. She sits, we sit in the ballroom, yeah, on the piano stool, and just kind of like takes a moment to like register, and she has like maybe tears well in her eyes, and just kind of like it's a mixture of sadness and anger. Sadness because she mourns for the life she's led without an older brother and how different it may have been, but the anger comes from her mother keeping that from her. Like she understands her mum has issues, but she's just like, no, she shouldn't have done that. Regardless of if his life was better or not, we should have known. And even though the mother has acknowledged it, she's like, I don't care. Okay, so there's a name and address. I wouldn't recognise the address per se, but I'm like, okay, this could very well be the address of a family that may have visited our house. So, because the address is nearby. So maybe that's something later I go and sort out. So visit my long lost brother. Okay, wow, that's pretty intriguing. So we've added these two together. It's 31, and that's odd. So yeah, we don't pull a supernatural card, I believe. Yeah, odd, you leave the room without issuing, begin a new round of play. Okay, so I'm going to put the Star and Queen of Pentacles back. Or my little board, should I say. Oops. I need to start, I think, clipping some of these together so you don't get muddled. Okay, what was that one? That can go there. You can go there. Oops. Ah. Okay, next card. Ooh, the Tower. That actually looks quite a terrifying card. Tower. And what number are you? "17." Okay. The sound of your footsteps echo loudly in a tiled room as you step inside. The sound of the door close. Oh, sorry. The sound of your footsteps echoes loudly in a tiled room as you step inside. The sound of the door closing behind you, nearly thunderous. Mosaics made of thousands of tiny tiles depicting various seaside scenes decorate the walls. Surrounding at one point was a massive indoor swimming pool. Long since drained of water, the smell of chlorinated water still hangs in the air, as strong as if the pool was still falling in use. Half-empty umbrella drinks, oh my God, and dog-eared books sit beside the pool chest surrounding the cracked tile. What do you spot in the bottom of the drain pool? What do you hear echoing in the stillness? Oh my God. In the bottom of the drained pool, I see myself, but I'm dead. Oh my God, why have I gone in here? My face is bloated and in an advanced state of decomposition. I rush down to the pool, or jump down to the pool. But the body vanishes. Am I going mad? Is someone trying to drive me insane? Insane like my mother. And the women before me. Yeah, she's really on edge now. What do you hear echoing in the stillness? I hear my younger brothers crying in the stillness. Oh, this is creepy. What's going to happen? Right, okay, so we need to pull a revelation. Oh, Page of Pentacles. What are you? Page of Pentacles. Yep, definitely on Pentacles. Oh, it's a long one. So it's an 11. So 11 plus 17 is, 28. We've got an even number. So we've got to pull a supernatural card, I think, after this page. You unfold the piece of paper in front of you to reveal an old painted family tree. It is missing the most recent 2 generations. As the most recent addition to it is your grandmother, Una. What draws your eye immediately is the dark scribble scrawled across the portrait, a branch above your grandmother's line. The word traitor is written over the space that once held their name. You can see the faint lines below the branch of your grandmother and her sisters. Sketches of branches to be added someday but never completed. Your mother has left another note for you amongst the branches. Your great-grandmother never made her disdain for her sister Ophelia secret, and it was hatred that your grandmother inherited. I spent my life believing that it was because Ophelia fell in love with and married her wife, your great-aunt Kate, that she was disowned and disinherited. Once I began learning the truth, I realised where the hatred really came from. Ophelia would eventually have to do what is required of her eldest daughters of our family. But with no children of her own, it transferred the family responsibility onto Cassia's line, our line. Cassia had lived her life knowing she'd be safe and believing that her children would be safe, but Ophelia changed all of that. Hatred is a strong poison, and when someone spends a lifetime filling themselves with it, there's only one other outcome. But I won't drink from the bottle my mother and grandmother did. It's time for change. Don't let anyone else believe what I grew up believing. Tell them that Ophelia did what she did out of love for Kate, not out of hatred for her family. It's the least we can do. Ooh. Wow, it's a bit of a revelation. Okay, so we're learning more now. So we're learning, like we said before, I think I mentioned it, about potentially this curse jumping a line, and that's exactly what's happened here. So it jumped a line as, who was it? Is it Ophelia? Because Ophelia didn't have children. The curse was passed on to her sister and her line. Wow, okay. That's pretty... Oh, I think I need to do maybe some more questions on this, or maybe not. Do you believe this to be true? Yes, I believe this very much to be true. What makes you so sure? I'm aware of this story of the hatred. I'm aware of the hatred, yeah. And I know that she didn't have any children, so it all matches up with the basic knowledge I have. Do you wish you hadn't learned this? No, I'm glad I did. I'm glad my mum feels better. Has, what's the word, cleared Ophelia's name. Okay. So, as we are even. Yeah, 17 plus 7 is 28. Okay, we're going to draw a supernatural card. Ooh. Okay, we got the 7 of Wands. Yeah, I haven't shuffled these that well at all. 7 of Wands. Or 7 of Skulls. Let's put this next to the others in the deck. You turn to leave the room, and before your hand reaches a knob, the door slams shut and disappears. Oh, wow. You run your hands over the wall where the door once was, only to find that it's solid and there are no signs of an opening. As you head for the windows, you remember being on the opposite wall, so they slam shut and disappear as well. With no other visible way to exit the room, you do your best to keep yourself calm as you realise you are trapped. Move your curiosity track forward. Oh, we're very curious. We're only 3 away from 6 now. How does the house finally allow you to leave the room? The house lets me leave. I can't remember how that information was delivered to me about my Aunt Ophelia. Was it a note? It was a Page of Pentacles. I'm just going to reread it because I want to say it's something to do with that information, I think, that lets me leave. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. Page. Yes, okay, so the house lets me leave when I pick up the family tree and place it in my pocket. It's like it wants me to take the information with me. So before I kind of read it and maybe put it back because I didn't want to disturb it. I felt maybe it was supposed to be kept there. But as soon as I put it back in my pocket, that's when I'm allowed out, so to speak. So yeah, so the house clearly wants me to take this information with me. It doesn't want it to be a secret. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. So we're one step forward on curiosity. The Tower and the Page of Pentacles. Let's highlight that and highlight that. Okay, so in next, our major arcana is, the Devil. The Devil. Okay, so let's look up the Devil. I'm getting quite scared. Where is the Devil? The Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, Empress, the Emperor, Hierophant, Lovers, Chariot, Strength, Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Justice, Hangman, Death. Devil is 16. So you are 16. You have been walking up and down this hallway, opening door after door for nearly an hour, if your watch is to be trusted. With every door you open, you grow more and more frustrated as you find nothing behind any of them. Dozens of doors line each side the hall, and not a single one has anything behind it. You're getting ready to abandon this hallway for another section of the house, but something keeps you beckoning you forward, urging you to open more doors. You can't bring yourself to leave until you've opened every one. How long does it take you to open all the doors in the hallway? I know it takes me an hour, so I think it could be longer or shorter. So time is operating very strangely in this house. Okay, so if time is operating very strangely in this house, why do I refuse to leave this hallway to explore another area of the house? I feel a strange presence wanting to keep me here. The paper of my family tree thrums in my pocket. I don't know what it is that's compelling me to investigate this hallway. The rational part of me knows I should leave, but I just can't. Okay, so what is our revelation deck? Oh, Knight of Swords. That's another reflective one, I think. So that'll be no addition. So that's 12. Not that numbers matter really at the minute. Yeah, that's fine. 1 starts here. I just got confused by a tab. You are taking a moment to pause and reflect on what you've discovered during your exploration of the house. Think about what you've seen and learned since the last time you paused for reflection and answer the question below. What keeps you from calling your father? Oh, that's a deep question. What would keep me? Bitterness. Resentment. Both he and my mother should have done better. If they had just been a bit more honest with me, I may have been able to accept my fate somewhat. What would you say to him if you could? Oof. I'd say I'm sorry for leaving, but I had to. Position you and Mum put me in was not fair. So yeah, she's kind of lived this life in this sort of gilded prison, and yeah, maybe she's come to realise that her mum and dad were in a bind of sorts, you know. But at the same time, if they'd handled it a bit better and maybe try to help her understand why the family is the way it is, she may have been a bit more forgiving. But given she was just left in the dark and kind of almost to fend for herself in a way, she's becoming a bit more understanding of why they did what they did, but at the same time she's still very angry about it and feels they could have done better. So that was Knight of the Swords. Let me just check. Yeah, so that's basically the mirror card. So yeah, we just go into a new room. Go into a new room. What do we pull now? Oh, this is Temperance. Temperance, I think I said that wrong. Temperance. So yet to pull a Skulls card yet. And Temperance, I believe that is 14, but we'll just double check. Mm, 15. VI. Ah, yes, it would have been, but we do have the Fool at the front. I don't know. But anyway, Temperance is 15. So, 15. Where are we now? You slide the metal door to the side and see a state-of-the-art kitchen in front of you. Everything looks pristine and well-maintained, unlike most of the spaces you've explored in the house. Opening the fridge and various cupboards, you find that this kitchen is fully stocked with enough food to feed a large family. You hear a beep and turn to see a time on the oven begin to count down from 1 minute. Something is in the oven. You look through the cabinets to find oven mitts as you wait for the timer to fully count down. Try to talk yourself out of opening the other door, but knowing you are too curious not to. What is in the oven? Now, I don't want to go gross at this. I think it's almost more haunting that there is a roast chicken in the oven. And yes, you can smell it first. It's coated with these herbs. And they're herbs and sort of spices that she's never encountered anywhere outside of her home. And this chicken was always cooked in this way. Or this meal, rather, was prepared when there was a big event. Maybe when there used to be one of these rituals. When, let's just say, someone in the family was about to get married or introduce their other half, this would be the meal they'd have before the chaos ensued. So yeah, she's thinking a bit like, what the hell is this? Like, I've encountered no one else in this house. Really strange things are happening. And yeah, there's a full-on meal being cooked, but yet, the dining room isn't prepared. There's cobwebs, there's a single glass of wine. Is the person who had that glass of wine now preparing the roast chicken? Who knows? The kitchen is out of place because it feels empty. Yeah, it's not full, if you know what I mean. It's fully stocked, but there's no one there. It's full in the sense of like ingredients, but it all looks like it's quite new, like it's only just been stocked. But yet, who stocked it? You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel right. Almost feels make-believe, like a fake kitchen. Yeah, it's just there's something clinical here. Oh, I think my pen's running out of ink. Oh, yes, so it is. I need to refill that. Give me 2 minutes. Right, I'm back. So, yeah, there is something off. It's too clinical. Almost make-believe. She's kind of tempted to, like, try something in this kitchen, but she's too scared. It's going to be, like, tampered with. So, yeah, she's kind of just wandering around this kitchen, taking the scent of this chicken. It's bringing up a lot of memories. I mean, it's something when she was younger she used to find quite comforting. But as time went on and she understood kind of the gravity of what these rituals were about, or when they started to bother her, it kind of became quite tainted. Let's just pull from the Revelations, see what we got. Ooh, that's a 3. So 3 of Cups. Oh, does that take us to 18, which is an even number? It does indeed. 3 of Cups. So 18 plus 3. Oh, no, it's odd, I think. No, sorry, 15. Already had it up. 15 plus 3 equals 18. So we've got an even number, so we'll have to pull a skull card after this. Right, so 3 of Cups is here. Let's see, what else do we learn more? So these are the quills. So this is more about family history. A watercolour painting adorns the first page of the sketchbook you hold in your hands. The paper tears slightly from the spiral, a result of the page being turned countless times, and paint is faded in places. But you're able to make out the subject of the painting through the cracks. A handful of dark-clad figures stand gathered around a grassy knoll, marked with a stone. Under the painted scene are a few words written in your mother's careful block lettering. Mother's funeral, April 12th. All family present, a lesser included. Sunny day, slight wind, not a cloud in the sky. She would have hated it. On the back of the page reads in a far less careful hand, told father it was a mistake to have a funeral when she's not dead. He said to us she is. If this is what I will inherit from my family, I don't want it. What had been painted over than the fade in paint has... What's that? What had been painted over than the faded paint has revealed? How does this alter your opinion of your mother? Okay, so we found, like, this sketchbook in the kitchen, kind of left on the side. And yeah, it's just a kind of creepy, like everything else in this house. And yeah, it's just this page keeps getting revisited. So what I'm interested in is dark-clad figures. And the robes they are wearing kind of remind me of the ritual. So they also wear to funerals as well. So these are very for sort of special occasion. Very special, only worn. on certain instances. Underneath this watercolour, I see a portrait or sketch of a lesser when she was a child. Not sure who drew it. Who drew it, rather. My mother never revealed to us she could paint. Or draw, though I wouldn't be surprised if she did. Due to her education. To her or slash our education. It makes me see my mother in a different light a bit. I almost feel sorry for her. She's been through a lot. She never left. Maybe she should have. She may have been better off for it. Oh, right, so 18. And because we got cups, I believe we add those together. Yep. So 18, we choose a skull. Oh, Knight of Wands. So if we go to Wands, which is our skull card, supernatural event. Let's put Temperance and Three of Cups back. What was that? Knight of Wands. The chandelier hanging from the ceiling in the hall wasn't there when you entered the room, or at least you don't believe it was there. The house has been changing since the moment you stepped inside, and you find it hard to differentiate between what you actually remember and what the house is trying to convince you is true. Several potted plants dot the hallway, leading you towards what looks like a wide open space at the end of the corridor. As you walk under the chandelier, one of the bulbs suddenly explodes into a shower of sparks. Moments later, one by one, every other bulb explodes simultaneously, filling the room with sparks that quickly erupt into flames. Oh my God. As they land on the dried leaves of the plants. Move either the curiosity or cowardice track forward. We're going to stick with curiosity. What on earth is... So we've got 2 more events left. What do you grab in an attempt to put the flames out? How do you react when you realise that the fire doesn't burn you? Oh, so this was Knight of Wands. What do I grab? Now, I don't think I picked up my mother's denim jacket. So we'll leave that. I'm saying I take off my jacket to smother the flames. So I anticipate being burned. My hands and forearms to be burned or receive injury. But I'd rather put the flames out and survive, potentially, and have, you know, pristine hands. But yeah, the fire doesn't harm me. And this is very shocking. I'm relieved, but at the same time, or simultaneously, very creeped out. Creeped out, terrified. As I'm not sure if I'm going mad in a dream, or worse still, in reality. Yeah, she's not sure, like, when she got knocked out by the falling, I think it was a sketchbook, that actually, did that just knock me out from that point onwards? And everything after this has been some sort of weird concussed hallucination that she's having while unconscious. That does cross her mind, but at the same time, she's like, God, if this is real, I'm actually going through this. Like, what on earth is going on? You know, is something more sinister waiting for me once I explore this house? Like, she just doesn't know, and that's what the terrifying thing is. Okay, right, so we've got 2 more marks left on curiosity. And that's the thing, she's not being, she's not really, she's scared, but she's not scared. She's willing to accept her fate, whatever that may be. Okay, so we got an even one. So yeah, we might be close to endgame soon. Okay, next card is, oh no, it's death. It's death. Good Lord. Right, it's getting worse. Right, death. And what number is death? That looks like 12, but we're just going to check. Death. Am I reading this right? No, death is 14 here. Death. 14. A bright yellow bear adorns a pastel-striped door you find yourself in front of. When you open it, you are met with the sight of a nursery with bright murals adorning each wall and filled with brand new furniture. An ornate crib stands in a centre room encircled by a curtain of gossamer fabric hanging from the ceiling. A music box on the dresser plays a soft, familiar tune of your favourite childhood lullaby as a porcelain ballerina spins on point. What is depicted in the murals that unsettles you? What is in the crib when you pull back the curtain? Okay. The murals unsettle me as they look like mini portraits of me as a child. But these were painted long before I was born. This nursery has been in my family for generations and has been painted like this for about 100 years. I never noticed it growing up, but the similarity is uncanny. What is it? What? Who is or what? Who or what? What is in the crib when you pull back the curtain? Do you know what? Nothing. Nothing is in the crib. Other than my fragile state of mind. My nerves are in the crib and they're fraying. That's what's in the crib. Okay, right, let's pick a revelation. Oh, that's a 2. Oh, have we got another positive now? Oh, they all coming together now. So that's two of cups. I need to shuffle these cards a bit more. 2 of cups, which is also, I think, quills in this. Okay. So 2 of cups plus 14 of deaths. That's 16. It's another even card. We're going to have a supernatural event coming up. Okay. Yep. Okay, so 2 of cups, 2 of cups. Oh, don't knock my cards on the floor. Okay. A Polaroid photo lies on the ground beside a crumpled piece of paper. In the photo is a woman holding a baby close to her chest. The baby is looking up at them with wide, bright eyes as the woman makes uneasy eye contact with the camera. The smile on her face looks superficial, an attempt to hide her true feelings from the photographer. Written in smudged black pen beneath the picture reads, Una and Talia, 2 days, by Ellis. The crumpled piece of paper is a birth certificate, with each line crossed out with thick black lines. It is nearly impossible to read, so it's probably been redacted. The information on it through the scribbled lines, only slightly visible, Ta, which might be Talia, leads you to believe it is the birth certificate of your mother. You're able to discern one piece of information from the birth certificate. What is it? What do you notice in the background of the photograph that disturbs you? I'd say my mum's date of birth is wrong. It's much older than what I thought it would be. 10 years older, in fact. And what disturbs me, there's this shadow again. This shadow or glow over my mother as a baby. Similar to what I saw in the other photographs. I'm going to quickly look up if there is any mention of Talia. Says my mother called Talia. She must be. Yes, because Una is my nan. So it's Una, Talia, and then Miranda. Be quite a good name because all ending in R. I didn't realise that. That must have subconsciously done it. Cool. Okay, so we've done that. Oh, did I tick off curiosity? Did I do that? Let me think. How many have we got? Okay, so that was... Oh, yeah, I did, because that was last session. Okay. So it's an even number. So now we're going to tick off curiosity because it's 16 plus 14, which is 30. So we need to pick a skull now. Okay, let's put death up there with the cups next to temperance. So we've explored quite a few rooms now, actually. So there was a devil, then there was temperance, and then we had death. Nice draw skull. 5 of wands. Oh, this is cowardice now. So the house has reacted to my presence because we had an even number. You step out the hallway, both surprised and confused, to see that where there was once a few doors is now lined with a dozen doors on either side. In unison, the doors all open as if beckoning you forward to look within each of them. Tentatively, you take a step forward, making your way around the stand in front of the nearest door. The room you see is dark, a single flickering bulb in a simple lamp illuminating a spread with papers. Oh, excuse me. You take a step forward to enter the room as the sound of slamming doors comes racing towards you from the end of the hall. You barely have a moment to jump out the way as a door in front of you slams, sending you falling to the ground. When you get to your feet again, the doors are all gone, vanish without a trace. Ooh, move the cowardice track forward. Oh, that's a shame. I want to be more curious. I don't want to be scared. What What about what you saw in the room makes you determined to find it again? How long do you spend searching for it before you finally give up? So this was the 5 of Wands, yeah. Do you know what? I thought I saw my grandmother. She was by the lamp. So I always loved my grandmother. Despite what my family was like. I searched for an hour, but it could be more. Time is tricky in this place. It could have been much longer. I feel tired now and exhausted. I need to leave soon. Otherwise, I may never escape. Okay, oof. Let's do our next room. Oh, the Hanged Man. Let's have a look. What are you on the Major Arcana? Oh, Hanged Man, 13. You were drawn to this door because of how peculiar it looks, a ramshackle wooden door that you would look more at home adorning the shack rather than the bright portrait-lined hall you found it in. Interesting. The knob nearly comes loose in your hand as you reach for it and pull the door open, making you extra careful as you fully open a door. You aren't sure what you expect to see on the other side, but you weren't expecting to see nothing. Door opens to reveal nothing but a wall behind it, a wall covered in faded and tattered yellow wallpaper that doesn't match the rest of the hallway, and covered in dozens and dozens of hand-drawn tally marks. Oh, God. Above the tally marks is a single word written in the same smudged black charcoal. Wait. How do you figure out what the tally marks are tracking? Who is this message for? So, okay, so the word wait and tally marks line this room or are a feature. Is there a light bulb in here? Okay, there is a light. And the tally marks represent when it comes on. Represent the time between each flicker. So sometimes I'm left in complete darkness and it comes on again. And I have to wait for, I don't know, 5 flickers, or to flick 5 times to open the door. Yes, the door only unlocks once the light's flicked 5 times. So it flicks 5 times, 10 times, 15. If I try and open the door, if say it's on the 6th flicker, then it won't work. The message I think is meant for me or anyone else in this room. Someone or something is trying to help me. Ooh. And the room, I don't remember the room. The room seems alien to me. Don't remember the room. Okay, so we've got 13. What are we on to next? So we're on to Revelation. Oh, that is 7 of Cups. That means it's another... Is that another even card? It is. 13 plus 7 is 20. Got another skull card off this. Okay. So 7 of Cups, which is Quills, I think. Tucked almost out of sight, you find a folded piece of paper with your grandmother's name written on it in swirling script. You unfold it to find a letter written in the same handwriting, a note to your grandmother from her mother. Una, I know that you're not taking this news well, but I must remind you to be strong and put on a brave face for your sisters. They cannot know the burden you now carry because of your aunt's selfishness. I never intended this fate to befall you, but the cup has been passed and you must drink from it. You'll hold the future of our family in your hands, and there is no one who isn't not grateful to you, even if they do not know what is to be done. I urge you to push this from your mind so that you may enjoy life until you're called away. It is what you deserve. I remain as always your loving mother. A partially scratched out postscript can be seen beneath the signature. What does it say? What have you been told about your great aunt? So this is the aunt, I believe, that was meant to be the traitor. So this was, I think it was Ophelia, was my aunt. And because she married and didn't have children, the line got passed on to my grandmother or great-grandmother. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, so it was Ophelia that then passed the line on to her sister. Whose daughter was Una, who was my nan. So who was the lady between... So Ophelia, great aunt Ophelia. So I'm not sure who my great nan was. I hate her, she is cursed. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, but we don't know who scratched this out or who wrote it. Was it Una's mother with regards to her sister cursing her children? Oh, family drama. Okay, so we've got the Hanged Man and the Seven of Cups. Okay, and because we have 20, we put another skull. Ooh, Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. Let's see. Oh, it's curiosity. Excellent. Let's take that. Yes. Thank Lord. Right, 5. As you step outside the room, you're not greeted by the sight of a hallway you had entered from. Instead, you find yourself standing in a dark, winding corridor with walls made of packed earth. Oh my God. Shelves line the earthen walls each with covered various jars, bags, and boxes of unknown contents. Between the shelves, simple electric lamps dot the walls, illuminating a dim corridor. You step onto the packed dirt floor and start to walk down the passage, not knowing where you were within Braddock House. You're now located and eager to find your way back to the hallway you came from. You don't seem to notice the strange shadowy forms that are following you. That's very weird. I've been talking about shadowy forms. Maybe I've been subconsciously picking this up. Okay. When do you realise that your shadow has begun moving on its own? Did I foreshadow this? No pun intended. Do these strange shadows follow you from the passage? Yeah, they do. And it's not a threatening shadow. I feel as though it's something that wants to protect me. But I don't know. It could just be maybe trying to make me feel that way and have a more sinister, thing. But, or motive, if it's being controlled by something else. But yeah, I feel relieved, comforted, not alone. And I think I am in a tunnel from one of our underground One won't be overground cellars. This house is full of hidden passageways and routes out the property. All you have to do is look. Okay, we're getting close. So we've got one more curiosity point and we've ended the game. Okay, right, let's draw our next room. The High Priestess. Three. You nearly walked past the door as you made your way down the narrow hallway as it blends perfectly into the wall, only the crystal knob and the initial emblazoned on it giving away its true nature as a door. Your grandmother's bedroom door. Okay, so we're in like a dirty cellar. Dirty cellar corridor. But weirdly, opposite magical house, my grandmother's door has suddenly appeared. It wants to present itself to me. You reach for the knob and turn it. The door doesn't budge. It's then you realise nails surrounding the door frame. Someone has nailed the door shut, blimey. How do you know it was your mother who nailed the door closed? What are you able to see in the room after removing the doorknob? Oh. I know my mother nailed the door shut. As a note has been left saying, "Forgive me." And it matches your mother's handwriting. But we can't say for certain. There might be a number of someone else with the same handwriting. You never know in this house. Were you able to see in the room after removing the doorknob? It looks like a normal room. Normal bedroom. But there is a creepy gargoyle painting hanging above the fireplace. It's very out of place with the rest of the room. You know, this room is very pink. There's a lovely little vanity table. It's very bright and cutesy, and this like grotesque portrait above the fireplace is very jarring. It's just like, what the hell is that? So yeah, there's a weird juxtaposition going on. The door's also been nailed shut. You know, we've got a bit of like glitzy little diamond doorknob, you know. So yeah, this room on first impression would have been something quite glamorous, but yet there's this horrific, like, I suppose Rembrandt-esque chiaroscuro painting of a gargoyle above the fireplace. And yeah, next to the fireplace there's little, like, you know, plant pots, but the plants have long since died. But yeah, it gave the impression it was like, you know, kind of light and airy and, you know, but yeah, it's definitely not like that. There's elements of creepiness about it. Okay, so we're going to pull from our Revelation deck. Oh, I need to stop pulling cups. I need to bloody shuffle this deck a bit better. Okay, 5 of Cups. And 3 and 5 is equals 8. It's another positive. So that's another skull card we're going to pull. Okay. So, yeah, 5 of Cups. Next page. Okay. A large hardcover journal embossed the Braddock family crest is collecting dust in a corner of the room. Various folded pieces of paper are tucked within its pages, each one a blueprint for new rooms of Braddock House. Flipping through the pages, you see that this is a journal started by your great-great-great-grandmother Florence, with notes accompanying each blueprint, including the journal. In addition to the notes and blueprints of various contracts and invoices worked on the house each year. According to Florence's notes, expansion began 3 years after work on the initial house was completed, and by the time you get to the end of the journal, you've counted over 48 contractors that have contributed to Braddock House. Braddock House has been a work in progress for as long as the Braddock family has existed in Dunblin Bay. How many rooms in the Braddock House according to these plans? What reason is given in Florence's diary for the house expansion? I think we're going to go big, but we'll say it's 32 rooms. I don't know why I chose 32, but there we are. Mixture of bedrooms, studies, ballrooms, swimming pools. So it's a proper estate, you know, they're not messing around. And details for house expansion, family, creating wealth and assets. But mainly you get it's for to support the family business or the growing business. So yeah, there's going to be lots of entertaining, having other wealthy families over, investing, you know, because it's a very private and wealthy family. They're not just going to book somewhere else to stay. And given that this is many, many years ago, people would entertain at their houses because it's private and it's discreet. So yeah, this is the reason she's given for the expansion of the house. It's to support the growing, I suppose, bank and things like that. And yeah, you have to be discreet about these things when you're in that position because you don't know who is listening to your plans. Okay, right. So did we pull... So that's 8. And yeah, I think we're going to pull a card from the wands. Because it's even. Oh, that's a 6 of wands. So how many things we got? 1, 2, 3. This is be our 6th one. Yep, that's right, because I've got 5 there and 1 there. Cool. It's a 6 of wands. Right, let's see. Will it complete the game? We don't know. 6 of wands. Okay. Just check out one section. Yeah, the skull. So with skull cards, which is also wands. So it's a 6. Yeah. You leave the room and begin walking down the hallway looking for the next room to explore. As you make your way down the hall, you start to feel the walls closing in on you. What you initially shake off as your mind playing tricks on you, which we said a few times, is proven real as you turn to see the hallway narrowing rapidly behind you. So yeah, we're going to go curiosity and we've completed the game. We are at endgame now. Where do you run narrowly being crushed between the walls of the hall? When you look back to the hallway once was, what is there now? I run back into my dad's TV room, if that appears. And slam the door behind me. Of course, in this room, she found her mum's coat, and she, not bizarrely, but she wants to feel close to her mum now. She feels as though she feels lost, and she wants to have that sort of family connection, even if it is not necessarily a massively positive one. And yeah, the TV room, it had a bit more life in it. It seemed like someone was there just recently, and, you know, there's an empty pizza box. And yeah, it's kind of, I suppose, tapping into those childhood memories. So she's sitting in there for now. And yeah, she's kind of like looking outside the door. Well, no, she slammed it behind her, but she sort of like peers through the keyhole, and it's just darkness. There's nothing there. It's like a void. Okay, I think now we're endgame now. Okay, so we're approaching the end of the game by being in the TV room. We're kind of half in, half out, potentially, depending on how I've got to write it with the end game. So, yes, so we're in curiosity now. So let's go to end game and read what it says. How homecoming ends depends on whether you succumb to your cowardice or your curiosity, sending you either out of the house or down to the basement to confront the one who has been pulling the strings behind your family for generations. Read the applicable endgame text and answer the questions that follow. When you've answered them to your satisfaction, the game is over. Oh, it's going to be our prompts. Okay, so I didn't feel cowardice, I did the curiosity. So if you filled the curiosity track, you are done playing cat and mouse, you are ready to meet face to face and end this once for all. You don't know if your mother can be saved, but perhaps your own future can be. You descend into the basement where you know they are waiting for you. Okay, so let's just say in this TV room, because remember when we first went in there, we wasn't sure where the door was, where the exit was. Because like, well, I've just come through one way. There's no one here. I didn't see anyone leave. So where's the other door? So let's just say on this TV now, a message comes up that says go to the basement and a door just appears. It materialises. Where am I? You don't know if your mother can be saved, but perhaps your own future can be. You descend into the basement where you know they are waiting for you. For once you wish the staircase was longer as you find yourself in front of the basement door far sooner than you are ready for. Taking a deep breath, you turn the knob and push the door open, revealing the lavish room draped in jewel-toned velvets. A fire roars in a marble fireplace. A figure sits in a plush armchair in front of it, facing away from you. I knew you'd make your way down here eventually. Their voice is soft, almost bemused, while making no attempt to hide how powerful they are. You cannot fight the chill that shoots up your spine as you take a step closer to them. They turn to meet your gaze, their eyes dark and bottomless. I loathe to be the bearer of bad news, but nothing can be done to get your mother back. She came here to fulfill the family's contract, just like you will someday. Surely you've learned by now that we have a contract, your family and I, binding in perpetuity. What exactly do you intend to do? If you're here to fight, you tell them you're here to fight them, to defeat them and the hold they have over your family. They chuck up and they... Yeah, cool. They chuckle and stand up from their seat and turn to face you. It is then you notice that they are nearly a foot taller than you. They take a step towards you, a smirk turn up the corners of their mouth. And how, pray tell, do you intend to fight me? Draw 2 cards and add the values together. If your cowardice was below 3, yes, which it is, draw 3 cards. Okay, so draw 2 cards and add the values together. Oh, but my card's below 3, so I draw 3 cards. I think I'm drawing from the Revelation deck. Okay, so here's a little bit tricky, because I think the cards you get with the game are 1 to 3. I could potentially pull more because the cups, the tarot suits go up a lot higher than this. We're going to do it anyway, and if it goes higher, I just have to choose the maximum. Yeah, I'm here to fight. I'm not here to negotiate. No, we're beyond that. I've just read the negotiate bit. So yeah, so like previously, it was like, you know, are you taking the cowardice route? Are you taking curiosity? So I was on a curiosity track, so that's what I completed. But within that, you can fight or you can negotiate. So because our character is quite plucky, we're going to fight. So yeah, I'm not going to read the negotiate because I'm not going to do it anyway. I can read it at the end maybe, but I just want to get this bit completed. So what have we got? Ace, queen. Okay, those are high numbers. Let's see. Okay, so I've got 3 cards. Let's go to cups. So the ace is 1. The queen of swords is 13, so that's 14. And we got 4, so that's 18. Okay, we're way over. So let's just say, so we're not 4 to 6, we're 18. Although you are clearly at a disadvantage, you manage to take them by surprise and gain an advantage over them. The struggle lasts for several minutes until it is clear for you both that you are the victor as you stand over them. You can't kill me, you need me, you all need me. Without me, everything your family has, everything they've built since stepping foot on this land will fade away. You'd really take everything from them? How do you choose to end this? If you choose to kill them, why don't their words move you to mercy? If you choose to spare them, under what conditions do you allow them to live? Do you tell your family what you have done? How does this experience change you? What is the first thing you do upon returning home? What signs do you begin to notice that they have not been defeated for good? I'm going to choose to kill them. And why don't their words move you to mercy? Because of the suffering. And also, this person is in a highly emotive state at the minute. She's not thinking right. She's scared. And she's just got into a fight, and she genuinely thought this being, this little gargoyle spirit that's kind of morphed itself into a more human appearance, but are still tells it is a little gargoyle, the same spirit that's in that painting. So yeah, she's just gonna kill it. She's gonna kill it. So what she does is, because there's a roaring fire, she picks up a rod that's used to stoke the fire, and she just whacks this thing, and yeah, it falls to the floor. And when this happens, the fire goes out, but the house feels suddenly at peace, but almost empty. And the little gargoyle creature, although it's not little, disappears without traces, like they were never there. They just disappear. And she's sort of looking around thinking, what on earth has just happened? She's holding this hot poker in her hand. She walks over to the fire and puts it back, and then the room, it had a supernatural quality about it when she first entered it, but now it just feels like normal. That, it's very grand still, but it doesn't feel that energy there anymore. And she sees a door in the corner, and she just opens it and walks through, and she sees she's in like the garden. She's outside. And when she's outside, she sees her father, and she doesn't tell him what she's done. All she says is, I came to find Mum. I know what happened to her now. And it won't happen again. And she says, I think you'd better get used to, I think you better leave here. Like I did. Take my brothers with you. And with that, she has a heavy heart. She knows there's an older brother out there somewhere. It changes me because I finally feel at peace. There is no more suffering now. There is no more generational debt. The price has been paid. Whatever that manifests as, be it, the house is lost suddenly, the bank, there's a financial crash that wipes out the family fortune in the next 5 years. And with that, once she says goodbye to her father and says, please just look after my brothers, I've done what needs to be done. No one else will bear this burden anymore, but you've lost everything now. Her father kind of looks at her dumbstruck. He's like, what? And the house appears to have settled now. It was almost like when she entered it, there was this charm, like whatever was inside knew she was coming. And if her mum had already paid the price for her generation, maybe this demon thought, oh, hang on, I'm getting a 2-for-1 here. The eldest daughter is now here. She can pay the tab for her generation. So it was almost like she was entering a trial of sorts. Not necessarily a trial, but just a tormented. It was all, I suppose, part of the deal anyway, to torment her and then maybe like take her soul at the end, just like her mum's. And yeah, after, because she does hold her parents responsible, even though they kind of didn't really have a choice in the matter, but to her they did. So when it says, what's the first thing you do upon returning home, I'm going to have it as a home that's not the Braddock house. It's her other home in a different city. And the first thing she does is phone her friend, Melissa. And she tells her she visited home. Her brothers are fine. Her mum is at peace, so she believes. And at the end it says, what signs do you begin to notice that they have not been defeated for good? She takes a picture of herself. Kind of like a little funny picture to send Melissa, say, hey, I'm at home, you know, made it back alive. But she notices this weird shadow behind her. She takes a picture again and it's gone. But she's like, what is that? So she's left a little bit. Has the curse ended? Or is it just, you know, am I still the bearer of that? And yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, we're left at the end. We have our protagonist, Miranda. She defeated the being at the bottom of the basement. We've realised that her family did indeed make a pact with this devil to ensure the success of their bank or their financial business, and the house revealed to itself how each generation suffered because of this curse, especially the women. And we found a little bit of history of how the curse can jump into different bloodlines, or not different bloodlines, let's say, but different branches of that bloodline, and how, yeah, it's the price one pays to live a gilded life. But now hopefully Miranda believes she's put a stop to it, but maybe she should have negotiated rather than fight this creature. Maybe that could have been a test after all, was to not to succumb to violence. So on that note, I'm going to read the negotiation just to see what we've got here. So if we were to negotiate, you tell them that you want to renegotiate your family's contract. Your voice as firm and confident as you can make it. Their expression shifts ever so slightly. They weren't expecting that. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you aren't the first Braddock to attempt to renegotiate the contract, and I doubt you'll be the last. What terms are you suggesting? So I draw 2 cards. So it was 1 to 3. Their laugh frightens you as it fills the quiet space with a sharp, unexpected chuckle. I haven't laughed like that in some time, thank you. They shake their head and meet your eyes. Their expression changes from one amusement to one deathly serious. You cannot even begin to comprehend just how out of your depth you are. You're in no position to bargain with me. I have given your family everything they've asked for over 200 years, and I will continue to take what I am owed, by hook or by crook. You try to step away from them, but they move closer with every inch you move away. They pull a piece of paper seemingly from thin air and hold it in front of you. Do you see this? This is your fate, the fate of every single Braddock. I could erase you all from existence with a wave of my hand, but I'm a merciful patron, though I do think this little escapade of yours can't go without some punishment. Pulling a pen from their pocket, they begin writing the contract before handing it to you and forcing you to sign. What additional terms do they add to the contract? What is the last thing they say to you as they send you out the house? What regret will you carry with you after this? What lie do you tell about your time in Braddock House when asked about what happened? Does this experience drive you further from or closer to remaining family members? So that's the worst case scenario if we rolled low. 4 to 6. So if we pulled more cards, the number was higher, which is good. They smile a wide, toothy smile. I make it a point to not be impressed by humans, and yet I am impressed. They motion to the seat across from them, wordlessly telling you to sit. Tracing a symbol in the air, a piece of parchment materialises between you. The paper looks old and warm, but the inked words are as bold as the day they were written. Your family's contract. Another symbol is traced in the air, and a pen appears in their hand as they begin making changes to the contract. After a few minutes of writing, they sign it with a flourish and hand the paper and pen to you to sign. Looking over the words in front of you, you are satisfied with the terms and have agreed to them, and sign your name beside theirs. The signatures glow for a moment before the contract disappears as quickly as it appeared. They reach out a hand to you. It's been a pleasure doing business with you until we meet again. Do you shake the hand? Why or why not? What, if anything, do you say to them before leaving the house? How did they alter the terms of the contract to their benefit without you realising? When you call your father, what do you tell him happened in Braddock House? When you receive a call from your mother days after returning home, does it elate or terrify you? Interesting. So with the fight option, I think none of those I get my mother back. Yes. So yeah, that is interesting. So yeah, it's almost like because she renegotiates the contract, it almost wipes it from the previous generation. But I feel perhaps in the one where I killed the demon and kind of destroyed, it's almost like, has this stopped now? You know, is it better for the future rather than for the past? So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and yeah, it's quite funny how stuff was materialized and how I kind of set it up subconsciously. Yeah, what a great game, and I hope this is a worthy ending to part one. But yeah, super enjoy it. Highly, highly recommend buying this. I think the Kickstarter has ended now, but yeah, definitely keep an eye out for Homecoming. I loved it. We've got a good little story there. Again, this is all creative tools, let's say, to get your brain into that zone of thinking of stories and potentially ideas for games and all that sort of lovely stuff. So yeah, we've got an amazing Ready or Not-esque type of story going on in here. So yeah, next game, I'm not sure what my next game will be. Death in Berlin, I am going to do that one a little bit differently. It'll be more of a recap rather than like live play. So yeah, I shall be going through my collection and I will let you know very soon. But until then, bye for now.